let's talk pricing for the Switch. So, for the console itself, months and months and months ago, I speculated that it would be between the $300 to $400 price range to stay competitive with the PS4 and the Xbox One, but also maintaining that budget for people who aren't trying to break their bank and, spend a small fortune on a gaming console. So, with the announcement that it was $300, that was no big shock to me. I'm very happy about it. It's a very good price. It's a competitive price, and I think it's very, very well placed because they can adjust it later if the Switch flops, which, let's face it, we've all seen the pre-orders and how fast that shit's going. This shit ain't going nowhere anytime soon. So, the biggest concern, however, for Switch pricing is for the accessories and for the services. Now, Nintendo is going the way of Microsoft and Sony in that they're going to start charging for online services. Now, I don't really have a big issue with this as I purchased PlayStation Plus, and I like the features and the exclusives that I get through PlayStation Plus, and Nintendo is going to be following suit with that and doing something along the same lines. And for me personally, I have a PlayStation already, so the multiplayer aspect on Nintendo isn't something necessarily that I'm chomping at the bit for, so even if it's outrageous, I'm not really losing out on a whole lot as I play multiplayer on other consoles. I get that some people don't have multiple consoles, so it's like, I get why you're upset, but for me it's not a big deal. I kind of didn't expect them to go that route, but it's not completely shocking at the same time. I do believe that they need to make it a very competitive price for their online services or for their yearly fee and all this. I think $50 for a year would be a great threshold because it's cheaper than the competition, but it's still enough for them to make a profit off of it for what they're doing, and for them to get more money, and for them to kind of roll that into their online services specifically for like the multiplayer that could only help them improve their servers, in which case you would get better online experiences. So it all kind of pieces together at some point. But in addition to the paid services, the accessories have some just very strange pricing. Let's look at the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller is $70. That is a little more than I think most people are happy to spend on it. Because this is a lot of money for a controller. Just for reference, you can buy the JoyCons, the 2-pack, for $10 more for $80, just to replace the whole set. And looking at the competition with PlayStation and Xbox with DualShock 4 and the Xbox One controller, pricing on those has just recently gone down. You can find those online as cheap as like $45 through some places. So, and I get that they're older comparatively to the Switch because the Switch isn't even out yet, of course. But still, it's interesting because at the launch for the PlayStation and for the Xbox, controllers varied from about $60 to $65, and yeah, I know it's only like a $5 to $10 difference, but still, if you're looking at this as in, oh, I'm gonna splurge and just buy the stuff for the Switch and get all of it, $10 adds up quick here or there. Ask anybody who buys Amiibos, they tell you quickly. But yeah, this is just, it's strange to me. I wasn't expecting it to be this expensive. Typically in the past, Nintendo usually is right around like $50 for their separate controllers. And even with going back to the Wii, Wiimotes and nunchucks were fairly inexpensive, typically around like $35. So it's very strange. I referenced before the JoyCons. JoyCons are $50 for a individual, which is kind of strange to me. I don't think that's... It's so hard to kind of have an opinion on this because the JoyCons are kind of half of a controller, but at the same time, they're their own controllers, so it's very strange how you would market it, because you could do it either way. But if you market it as like half of a controller, then you feel people will feel like they're getting ripped off, especially for the price that you're paying for it, because they're $50. And like I was saying before, you can buy a brand new PlayStation or Xbox controller for about that price, and you know it's one whole piece. But counter argument, JoyCons can be used as a one-piece controller as well. I think the thing that a lot of people are sleeping on this though is the Rumble HD and just the innovation that these controllers have. Nintendo has obviously showed that they have a lot of focus and a lot of stock placed into these Joy-Con controllers, and I don't think it's something that a lot of people are going to be fully sold on the price until they get a hands-on on it. I'm one of those people. I'm not 100% convinced of the HD Rumble. I think that's really cool, but I'm not sure if it's something that's going to be like mind-blowing and life-changing like they're saying it's going to be. It's something I'm going to have to try before I can really kind of decipher whether it's worth that or not. Next up, you have the Joy-Con charging grip, $30, pretty much normal. Most charging stands for just any controller usually hover around that pricing. The docking set is $90. This to me is pretty much reasonable, given that it's going to help enhance some gameplay, and that it's also a lot of the extra meat that the Switch has with it. If the gamepad itself, if the tablet is the meat and potatoes, then the docking set is definitely the broth for this stew. Is that a bad analogy? I don't know. Just go with it. But yeah, you get your charging cable, the HDMI, and then the docking set itself. And yeah, $90. Not really a huge surprise there on that front. And then the last big thing that Nintendo is kind of like pushing out there is the Joy-Con wheels for Mario Kart. $15 for a set of two. That's a fantastic price if you ask me. This is a complete just aesthetic accessory. So charging an outrageous price for this would be asinine, and it would only hurt them in the long run. But for a set of two, $15, that's extremely good for people who enjoy using the steering wheels. And then of course you have all the little decals and carrying cases, and of course all the like the fight sticks and stuff like that they have out there and everything. But yeah, that's a lot of it. What do you guys think? Do you think a lot of this is overpriced? I know a lot of people seem to do, and they're not very happy about it. But we can only tell, The good thing about the Switch is that the Joy-Cons and the controllers can be used in like 1,003 different ways. So it's not something that would necessarily be there unless you're just trying to do more competitive gameplay. In which case, if you're that devoted, you're probably going to get it anyways, but I would understand why you would be upset. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support lately. I truly appreciate it. Share with your friends so we can help spread this, and just get me more views so I can make that big YouTube money. Yeah. Ooh, fucking 100 subs swinging over here. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Super appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.